Level 1, $1,200, and you are 62 years old. You stand at the counter, and the fluorescent light hums above you like it's tired too. The teller doesn't look up right away. She's counting someone else's 20s, and you wait with your passbook in your hand. The cover's soft and split at the spine from 30 years of folding it into your back pocket. $1,200. That's what's left after the funeral costs. After Bill's casket and the flowers nobody could afford but bought anyway. You'd claimed Social Security the month after, at 62, because you needed the check now and couldn't afford to wait. A permanent 30% cut, the woman on the phone had said, flat and unapologetic. And you took it anyway because 70% of something beats 100% of nothing when the mortgage is due. You slide the withdrawal slip across the counter. The teller glances at it, then at her screen, then back at you. You're aware there's a $35 fee if this drops you below minimum balance, she says. Not cruel, just flat. A recording wearing a person's face. You nod. You already knew. You take out $200, and the passbook update, when it prints, shows a $967.14, and the number sits there like a verdict. The bank doesn't know about the Social Security cut. It doesn't ask. It just sees the balance, and the balance is small, and small is all it needs to know. The first rule, the bank speaks first in fees, and it never asks what the number cost you to get here. Level 2, $8,400, and you are 65. The call comes on a Tuesday, and you almost don't answer because you assume it's a robocall. It's not. It's the bank, a customer retention specialist. Her voice bright in a rehearsed way. We noticed your CD is maturing next month, she says. You sit down at the kitchen table, the Medicare packet still open beside the phone, thick as an old phone book. Part A, Part B, Part D you haven't chosen yet. And you half listen while she offers you a new CD at 4.1%. You ask if that's the best they've got. There's a pause, a real one, and she says, "Let me check what I can do for you." That pause is new. Nobody paused for you at Level 1. You hang up with a rate of 4.3% and a strange, unfamiliar feeling that someone on the other end had, for 90 seconds, treated your money like it mattered enough to negotiate over. You go back to the Medicare packet. Nobody negotiates that. The second rule, hesitation, is the first form of respect, and it arrives right around the same time as the first bill for staying alive. Level 3, $47,000, and you are 66 years and 10 months. Your full retirement age, the month the earnings test finally lets go of you. The letter arrives in an actual envelope, cream-colored, your name printed instead of stamped through a window. Inside, an invitation to a complimentary retirement readiness review. You go in. The branch manager meets you herself, a folder already prepared with your name on the tab. She offers you coffee, real cream, not the powder. Before you even bring it up, she mentions she noticed your Social Security deposit. She pulls up the number, reads it aloud, and explains that the $202.90 Part B premium is already being deducted automatically, has been for a year now, quietly before the money ever reaches you. Most people don't realize the check was already spoken for, she says. Then she catches your birthday on the file and brightens. And you'll notice something different in your next deposit. No more earnings test reduction. That part-time job won't cost you anymore. She recalculates the number right there, reads it twice, like she wants you to hear it land. $47,000 is a start, she adds. It's not nothing. Let's build from here. The third rule, $47,000 buys you a chair at the table. And the first year, the bank finally gives back what it had quietly been taking. Level 4, $110,000, and you are 67, full retirement age, the year the reduction disappears completely, and the benefit is finally fully yours. You get assigned an advisor now, an actual name, a direct line, a photo on a business card with a tagline underneath. Planning for what's next. Her office has a window. She calls you by your first name before you've even sat down, because she pulled your file that morning and read the notes from the branch visit 2 years ago. You mentioned you were worried about outliving your savings, she says, and you're a little startled, she remembered. She pulls up your benefit comparison, what you'd have gotten at 62, what you're getting now at full retirement age, no reduction, no test, no asterisks, and walks you through a withdrawal strategy on top of it. 4% a year, adjusted for inflation, a starting point, not gospel. She shows you a chart, your name at the top in bold blue font. For the first time, the bank isn't reacting to you. It's planning around you. The fourth rule, at full retirement age, they stop asking what you want and start asking what you're afraid of. Level 5, $340,000 and you are 70. The last year delayed retirement credits accrue. The year waiting finally stops paying you to wait. The birthday card arrives before the appointment does, handwritten or close enough to fool you. Inside the branch, you've been moved to priority banking, a shorter line, a private room with soft chairs. Your advisor brings a colleague this time from Wealth Strategies, and together they lay out the comparison sheet. 62 versus 67 versus 70. 3 columns, your number in the last 124% higher than it would have been at full retirement age. There's no reason to wait past today, the strategist says, and it isn't a pitch, it's arithmetic, plain and settled. They fold in Roth conversions, the tax bracket waiting for you at 73 when the RMDs begin. Options most people don't get to have. Nobody mentions the $35 overdraft fee anymore. You wonder if they even remember that version of you standing at a counter 8 years ago, counting out $200 like it was blood. The fifth rule, comfort, is complicated. It arrives disguised as options, and it always arrives after the waiting is over. Level 6, $780,000 and you are 73. The year required minimum distributions begin, whether you want the money or not. The call this time isn't the bank reaching for you with an offer. It's a notice, arriving almost before you've thought about it yourself. We've already calculated your RMD for the year, your advisor says. We just need your signature on how you'd like it distributed. There's something protective in her tone now, paternal, the opposite of the flat recording voice from level 1. You're invited to a client appreciation dinner, steak you didn't order arriving anyway because someone assumed. Across the table, the senior advisor asks about your grandchildren, about the boat you mentioned once in passing 18 months ago. The bank has become a version of family that remembers your stories better than your actual family does some weeks, and remembers your deadlines better than you do, too. The sixth rule, at $780,000, they don't sell to you anymore. They confide in you, and they file your paperwork before you ask. Level 7, $1,600,000, and you are 75. The year the conversations start circling, gently, around what happens after. Nobody schedules you for a phone call now. Your advisor, and there are 2 of them, plus a relationship manager, simply appears. A lunch invitation, a suggestion that you might enjoy meeting the regional VP who's in town. The conference room has a view, a printed name plate at your seat. They call it as legacy review, though nobody says the word death. They walk through beneficiary designations, a trust to keep the RMD cascade from landing your children in a higher bracket all at once. The $35 fee, the passbook, the fluorescent light, that person doesn't exist to this room. They've never met him. You sometimes wonder if you have either. The 7th rule, at $1,600,000, the bank stops managing your money and starts managing what happens to it, and to you after. Level 8, $3,200,000, and you are 80. The branch doesn't call. The private bank does. A different building sometimes. One that doesn't advertise. Doesn't need to. Your relationship manager knows your daughter's name. She's an authorized user on the account now. Added quietly 2 years back at the manager's gentle suggestion, just in case, and you hadn't argued. When the RMD notice arrives, it goes to both of you. When you call with a question, someone picks up on the second ring, already knowing why, because they've been watching the account, watching you in the gentle, attentive way a good doctor watches a patient who's basically healthy, but valuable enough to monitor anyway, asking after your memory. As much as your money, in the careful, oblique way people ask that question without asking it. The eighth rule, at $3,200,000, you stop being a customer. You become an account they curate and a person they quietly, carefully watch. Level 9, $6 million and beyond. And the ages have stopped mattering to anyone but you. There is no branch. There is no letter. There is a person, sometimes two, whose only job is you. They call on your birthday, and it isn't a card, it's a conversation, 40 minutes long, about your grandkids' college funds and whether the foundation should give more to the hospital wing this year. The RMD is handled before you'd have thought to ask. The Medicare premium, the earnings test, the 30% cut at 62 you never took because you never needed to, none of it happened to you in this room, except it did. Some version of you filed those forms, took that reduced check, cried a little in a parking lot once about $35. You just don't remember what it felt like anymore. That's what $6 million buys in the end. Not more money, amnesia, for the calendar and for the counter you used to stand at. Somewhere right now, someone is standing at a counter under a fluorescent light, holding a passbook with a soft, split spine, 62 years old, having just taken the reduced check because the reduced check was the only one that would come soon enough. They don't know what's coming. They don't know that the same system that just charged them $35 for being poor will, decades from now maybe, send a car to pick them up for dinner and calculate their RMD before they've finished their coffee. They just feel small today. They just feel like a number today. And they're right. They are a number. The bank doesn't change at every level, and it doesn't change at every age. The bank reveals what it always was, a mirror that shows you exactly how much of you it thinks is worth protecting, and exactly how closely it's willing to watch the calendar on your behalf.